This what are your thoughts on Jeffrey Epstein and this relation to Jewish privilege?
Well, the ebook I just wrote began by discussing the current attempts to censor speech on the internet. Uh, all of this, the entire campaign revolves around one term, namely hate speech, which is a completely made up, undefinable term, and that's governing all of the ability of people to speak on the internet at the moment. Hate speech was a creation of the Anti-Defamation League. It's a Jewish organization that created this term specifically to end any type of criticism of Jewish behavior.
Yeah.
Because because they have been successful up to this point, they have created what we'd have to call Jewish privilege.
Yeah.
Now, we hear the term white privilege all the time here. It's a staple of university discourse. There are courses that talk about it and so on and so forth. It doesn't exist. The fact that as soon as you identify yourself as white in the United States of America, you are not only stripped of any type of privilege, you're stripped of any type of right. The classic example of what I'm talking about here was the Charlottesville demonstration of about a few years ago. This was a group of people who were upset about the removal of the statue of Robert E. Lee in Charlottesville. They identified themselves as white, and as soon as they did that, they lost the battle. It was over. So there are people now like a lawyer, Jewish lawyer by the name of Roberta Kaplan, who is now bringing a lawsuit on behalf of certain people who were there, who are claiming they were traumatized by witnessing the events there, including that car that eventually killed someone. This whole discussion is revolving around the fact that there are certain groups that are privileged in our society, and there are certain groups who are not. And one of the groups which is not privileged is the group called white people, and the group which is privileged is the group called the Jews. And so we have Jewish privilege. This goes back to the pedophile crisis that you mentioned.
Yeah.
If you're a Catholic priest and you're accused of any type of sexual misbehavior, you are guilty until proven innocent. This is the case across the board. We have investigations run by Jewish prosecutors, one in Philadelphia, one in Harrisburg. In both instances, they spent years, millions of dollars. They came up in Philadelphia with no indictments, and in Harrisburg they came up with one indictment after examining the dossiers on about 600 priests altogether. Instead of just closing the case at that point, they published the dossiers on all of the people that they could not bring charges against. Well, this is an outrageous abuse of the public forum. It's an outrageous abuse of the office of the prosecutor, and no one brought this up. And if you were to bring up the fact that both prosecutors in these cases were Jewish, you would be accused of anti-Semitism. So it's an absolutely intolerable situation, and it's only gotten worse. So, for example, that's the one side of the coin. The Catholic priest is guilty until proven innocent. If, on the other hand, you're a Jewish Hollywood director, nothing anyone can say can move prosecutors to make a case against you. The classic instance was Woody Allen. His stepdaughter accused him directly, first person, of sexually abusing her, and nothing happened because Woody Allen is Jewish. He's a recipient of Jewish privilege, and that's only reinforced by the fact that he's a Hollywood director. Same thing true of Bryan Singer, another Jewish director. He was accused of sexual molestation. These cases never move forward because of Jewish privilege. And now we have two more instances. Jeffrey Epstein was running a notorious teenage prostitution ring that was frequented by the rich and the famous, the oligarchs across the country and in other countries as well. They would fly down to his island and they would have sexual relations with teenage girls on his property. Now, when one of the people who was accused was Alan Dershowitz. He, again, is a recipient of Jewish privilege. He mobilizes his legal forces and in the defense of Jeffrey Epstein, who was the ringleader here. And Epstein gets off with a slap on the wrist, and no one investigates Dershowitz. Dershowitz gets off scot-free. So this is the intolerable situation we have reached, and now it's only being made worse because the same type of Jewish privilege that we're seeing here is now being imposed on the internet. So let's take the case of Roberta Kaplan. She can identify herself as a chubby lesbian kike. Okay, that's her self-designated identification. Now, there's an element of arrogance in this, and there's also an element of violence as well, challenge. Because what she's saying here, in effect, is that she can say that with impunity. But if I say it, if I quote her, I will be called an anti-Semite. This is the type of violence that is being perpetrated throughout the internet right now. This is intolerable. This situation has become intolerable. Someone has to stand up and talk about it, because the whole existence of America as a place where you're free to speak your mind is at stake now. That's